All right, part one of the stage ran way longer than I thought it was going to. So part two, I'm gonna bring you up here in the sound booth, show you everything that we have up here, and you can see what all takes place up here. All right, so walking into the booth, first thing you'll notice, and you probably see these from the floor, these are just antennas for all of our wireless stuff, Shure paddle antennas. Those are great. Make sure we don't have dropouts. This first rack here, just a few things, power conditioner. And then we've got, these are the the transmitters for Sarah and Sammy's in-ear monitors. I've got more of these, but again, that's something that needs to be upgraded soon. A big problem with these, and this is where you can help if you see a need that you want to meet. It's not just that I want to upgrade these to have the latest and greatest. These transmitters and receivers are just barely inside the allowed frequency spectrum for us. We actually had somebody come by because at one point, one of these was on somebody else's frequency band owned by Sprint or Verizon or something, and we had to get off of those frequencies. We need to upgrade these and get away from those frequency bands. It's crazy, but that's just what you deal with wireless stuff. It gets phased out eventually. So transmitters for those. Over here, we've got DVD, CD player, soundtracks, movies, whatever we need. Another power conditioner. This is my crossover. This basically, the sound runs into this, and this tells what frequencies to go to the house speakers, to the mains and the front fills, and then what to send to the subwoofer. So there's not a bunch of muddy frequencies, too much high end sent to the subwoofer, too much low end sent to the mains. So love that. And then runs into the Bose digital controller. This is basically an EQ for the main speakers. Another Yamaha amp. This runs the mains. Then all of our wireless stuff here. We've got a bunch of Shure receivers, some that aren't lit up because we don't have enough transmitters for those. We need to get a few more of those. And then those are the receivers for the AT Audio-Technica units. This is the MacBook Pro that runs Ableton Live, which is our click track setup. I build all of our click tracks from scratch myself. We've got clicks, we've got cues, we've got percussion, which is shakers, tambourines, and then there's two percussion tracks because one is for the house, one is for our ears. Keys is anything, pads, keyboards, lead lines, anything like that, and then we have a bass line. So basically, if you take one of these, this is, let's take Resurrecting. I love this song. So when I started down there, it starts up here. And what you hear in the house is the keys and pad and the bass. And then if I've got a house percussion track, which there's not one on this, you'll hear that as well. Let me get to the bass part. Lost it. So obviously you've got the tracks and bass, what you hear. If I mute those. Verse 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we hear in our ears. That's what keeps us on tempo and on track throughout the song. I love this setup. I instituted the click track backing tracks probably 5-6 years ago now. Upgraded to Ableton a couple of years ago, which has greatly helped with flow of the music service. So got all of our songs with the cues, and then if during rehearsal we need to get to a certain place in the song, we've got everything labeled. Intro, verse, chorus, turnaround, verse. Really streamlines things, makes things nice. Everything is running off of my hard drive. This is probably one of the most valuable things I have. I've got everything backed up elsewhere, but there are countless hours of my time on this hard drive for church related things. So thankful for that. Comes out of this computer into another Behringer USB interface. This allows me to separate the tracks, the bass, and the click and cues. That runs directly into this, which this is our Yamaha Ls9 32. This old girl has seen a lot of hours and a lot of mixing. Definitely not top of the line anymore, but still serves its purpose very well. It's a completely digital board. We've got all of our tracks here. Pastor Justin, Sarah, Sammy, Pastor Nick. I ran out of magnetic strips, so I don't have him labeled yet. Acoustic, electric, keys, drums, kick, snare, crowd mics, tracks, bass, click, and there's so many things. I mean, we've got all the different scene setups here. We've got the different effects and all that good stuff. So lots to take in there, more than I can explain in a behind the scenes tech tour video, but I love this board. I really do. Very comfortable with it. And Ricky, our sound engineer, he's comfortable with the setup as well. I'm not really I'm just going down the line. So this Behringer, another USB interface. This comes stereo out of the LS9, and this is our Facebook Live mix, our video recording mix. This comes out of the board into the iMac through a program I'll show you in just a second. And that's how we get the sound for our live streams. Got 2 cameras up here. We have 3 cameras total. This is the stage shot. We zoom in, zoom out, but that's the main shot. And then camera 1 is on me over at the keyboard. So we got those. And this is my Acer, I don't even know what it is. It's some kind of gamer's laptop. It had great specs and it works great for video. That's why I bought it. I'm a Mac guy, so for me to buy a PC was very difficult. But I run OBS, Open Broadcaster software. This is what we stream everything through. We've got all of our different scenes, the welcomes, live, got our give slide, our pastor, memory verses. Basically everything comes from the cameras into OBS, and then this goes out to Facebook Live streaming, and then it's also recorded, and this is where we get the recording for YouTube. Now, to get to there, all the video has to go through here first. This is our Blackmagic Design ATEM Mini. We've got our 3 cameras coming in here. Then we have another input. There's usually an iPad up here that we send lyrics from ProPresenter to the iPad into the ATEM, which if you've watched our live streams, you'll notice we have the lyrics for the songs at the bottom. That's how that gets there. But this is our ATEM Mini. It's our video switcher. So try to get everything in the shot. Camera 2 is not on right now, but we can go between the different cameras. There's different effects settings. We don't mess with a whole lot of that. This is mainly for switching the different cameras. Now, this is an iPad. I don't even know what iPad it is. It's one of the newer ones. This is the Yamaha Ls9 Program. Ricky mixes sound from downstairs on the floor because the sound is terrible up here in the sound booth. Worst thing in the world is to have a sound booth upstairs. Obviously, for convenience and cleanliness, it's better, but for sound, it's terrible. So I'm thankful that we have the capability with this board to run this app, and basically everything that Ricky does on this iPad translates to the board. Yeah, so he can run sound, go through all the different groups and all the different settings. He can change anything and everything right here from the iPad anywhere in the room. So he can walk around the room during rehearsal. He can come up on stage and change stuff on the monitors and in-ears. That's a huge blessing. We're thankful to have that. This is just our router for the wireless up here. This is ProPresenter. Now this is the old version of Pro Presenter. I want to upgrade to Pro Presenter 7. This is Pro Presenter 6, but that's a $300 bill, and just waiting for the time to be right on that as well. But basically this is everything that's on the screen comes from this computer right here. So we got our backgrounds and then all of our lyrics. Christian runs all of this each and every Sunday. So we've got basically anything that's up on the screen or the back monitor or the lyrics on Facebook Live comes from this computer. So the only other thing this is used for, this is Studio One. It's a program I've been using for years. I love this program. The audio comes out of the board into the USB interface, into the iMac, into Studio One, then goes back out of the iMac into the A10 Mini. And that's the audio for live stream and recordings. This is nice because I have the capability to compress as needed. I can add a little bit of reverb to add some space, obviously a little bit of EQ, a vintage compressor that I really like, makes our sound good, and then a limiter to make sure we don't blast OBS and distort the signal. So that's what I use for that. And then of course all of our lighting, everything is fadeable. So we've got all that. I said fadeable, I guess that's true, but dimmable. And then if you saw part one, this is the same in-ear setup that Cullen and I have. Christian runs this so I can talk to him through a lapel mic during the service, and also he can hear the click tracks and the cues. Other than that, we got a big mess here. This is something on my to-do list to clean up one of these days, but we got a lot of cables. A bunch of random stuff in these drawers. A lot of that is my stuff I need to do something with. And then the only other thing would be the old sound booth, which is nothing but a junk room now. This is where just extra equipment, broken equipment, got an extra speaker there, an extra TV, some cables. The sound booth used to be in this room. The only thing worse than having a sound booth in the balcony is having a sound booth in the balcony in a separate room. So you can imagine, you know, how horrendous the sound could get in that scenario. So thankful that the sound booth is not inside of a room anymore. But that's it, guys. That's the tech tour for Liberty Baptist. Hope you enjoyed it. If you got any questions, let me know. If there's anything that you want to do to help out, I told you in part one about the lights. I've told you about some sound stuff needs to be upgraded. If there's ever anything that God lays on your heart that you would like to help out in a certain area, hit me up and I can point you in the right direction. God bless.